The Shredd and Ragan Show, afternoons.
Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
You're in season 4 now, right?
We are, yeah. I'm actually at the house right now. I jumped out and get in the car to do the interview. But, yeah, we are right in the middle of filming season 4.
Right. Because we were talking to, yesterday, we were talking
Dr.
to
Zazio,
Dr. Zazio, and she said, we asked her, how's season 4 going? And she just sort of laughed.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it makes season 3 look like a joke, man.
Yeah.
It's intense, man. This people are finally coming out of the woodwork and are able to admit that they're hoarders, and they've never had that security to say it before. And so we're finding things that have been, in hiding for 20, 30 years.
Oh, man. And that makes your job a lot harder, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, these people are, they've also been in hiding, and so they don't have the emotional ability to really communicate their problem.
Now,
and, it's tough.
Matt, now, as you go through some of the stuff that they've hoarded over the years, do you ever find anything valuable?
Absolutely, man. We found $40,000 in U.S. savings bonds one day. The lady had thrown them away. She thought they were expired, and we had to tell her they had matured, not expired.
Nice.
We found art. We found cash. We found, always high-end jewelry. Often you can find, a $10,000 rug we found the other day. And we've had to actually help a lot of our clients sell their stuff because they can't always afford to clean. And lots of times you find stuff that's worth a lot of money.
Matt Paxton he's from Clutter Cleaners, but also on A&E's Hoarders, Shredd and Ragan Show, and it's Hoarders Week. I want to ask you, Matt, how did you get started in the show? And then we'll move on to what you do and some of the classic moments.
Yeah, I was actually at a pretty rough point in my life. I lost a job, lost a wife, and I was living on a buddy's couch. And I couldn't come up with $200 rent, so I just started cleaning out old ladies' attics. And I realized they were just as depressed as I was. And when I figured out there was an emotional part with it, that's when it started clicking. And so honestly, I just started cleaning messier houses just because no one else could do it.
Wow. Matt Paxton with us. So the first couple of Hoarders episodes where you start this business and you get involved, first of all, we'd A&E contact you? Did you find out that they were looking for someone? How did that work?
Well, they were actually just looking for houses. They had their organizers. They weren't looking for people to come on and help. They just needed dirty houses, and they called a bunch of organizers, and everybody knew that I cleaned the messiest places in the country. So they said, just call this guy Matt in Virginia, man. He's got some crazy places. And they just came to look at our houses. And after meeting us after a day, they saw me yelling at a bunch of hoarders, and they said, man, we want to put you on TV. So it was pretty quick. We met them on a Monday, and I was filming the show on a Friday.
Now, do they take you all over the country for this?
Yeah, we fly every week now. I fly somewhere different in the country.
So maybe you could take us through then a clean out. Take us through a typical clean out and what you go through, how you prepare your guys, and what it's like.
Yeah. First thing you do is you got to really get to know the hoarder. And so we'll spend I'll probably spend 20 hours on the phone with the hoarder and their family, and to get the best of understanding that I can about what caused it, what's the trigger. It's usually some kind of like abuse, physical or sexual, or grief or death, something bad's happened. So once we find out what that is, we start to work the hoarder and make sure they're ready to change their life. The family is always ready for the hoarder to change, but the hoarder is rarely ready for this change.
It takes a while.
If they're not ready, it's kind of a waste of time.
Matt Paxton with us. He's got a new book. It's called The Secret Life of Hoarders, which comes out May 3rd as well. But they're filming right now season 4 of A&E's Hoarders. It's the Shredd and Ragan Show, and it's Hoarders Week. And if you've watched the show, you've watched Matt go into some of the toughest places. Now, to start with, Matt, you have insane amounts of patience. And I wonder, and we didn't realize about the tragedy in your life and does that sort of then help you understand what they're going through and give you that patience, or were you just always that patient?
Absolutely no. Me and my entire crew, all of us have failed so many times in our life that we have to stick with them because people stuck with us. So, yes, we have patience, but it's because our families had patience with us.
Because they're probably one of the toughest things, and I think people who watch it sometimes may even yell at the TV screen, oh my God, just throw it out. Just throw it out. And you see them agonizing over each decision. And you guys, you'll stand in the rain, you'll wait, you'll be patient. How do you get them to move?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's often like, yelling at a person that has cancer and tell them don't have cancer. It is a disease, and you forget. And I forget. I deal with the worst in the country. I forget. Sometimes I do lose my cool. They don't always show it, but a couple times I've lost it. And we all forget. They mentally can't help it. And you just have to show them respect and patience. And if you show them respect and you treat them as an equal, eventually the hoarder will start to work with you.
Really?
But the more you yell, the more you negate that equality, and the less they're willing to work with you.
So you have to, and that's why you get on the phone with them and you build this trust.
I got to be their best friend before I get to the house.
Wow.
If they don't love me, I don't stand a chance. And so really sometimes I'll spend a month or two with a family before I even go in the house.
Yeah. Matt Paxton on, and he's on Hoarders on A&E, and I want to play some of the highlights we're going to go with Jill, the food hoarder, to start. Just one of the classic moments, and you had to open up at one point the meat drawer. Here, give this a listen here. She doesn't want to throw out any of the food.
I'm sorry, I'm really grossed out. Please, do we have? It looks like something. I
gotta go.
Something out of a bad dream. I'm sorry. I did not plan to let it get this bad either.
It was so disgusting.
My God. And there's stuff that was in that drawer that she's still
examining.
Saving.
I know. She gave me this package of cheese that had been sitting in that dripping stuff, and she wanted me to look for a date on it.
Matt, tell me a little bit about Jill and then what she was like.
Well, I actually didn't do that one, but I see it every week. So what that is there's actually liquefied lettuce and vegetables, and it all becomes this really gross kind of toxic stew of just mold and nastiness. But what Jill believes when she opens that drawer, she is seeing what she bought, what it looked like originally nicely at the grocery store. Hoarders don't mentally understand that things decay over time. So what she believed when we opened that door, that it would look the exact same way it did 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's also amazing. It sounds like she's laughing as everybody's gagging and dying over that. I mean, it's almost.
Yeah, I mean, we actually do laugh at it. At some point, when you get to, you always put the rookie on the refrigerator because it's the nastiest part. Getting the guy to throw up. Getting the guy to throw up is pretty much the funniest thing. I mean,
That's
and
funny.
we do use humor a lot, but we got to be realistic. We're working with these people at the lowest point of their life. They've been in hiding for 20 years, and we're showing the world what they've been hiding for. And they're embarrassed, so we try to use as much humor as we can.
Yeah.
Just to make them laugh. Because at that low point in your life, there's really nothing else left to do but laugh.
Right. And it makes sense. You got to, I mean, what are you going to do? You have to laugh at some point. That's funny, though, that you send the rookie in on the refrigerator in the kitchen, right?
Absolutely. And we tell the hoarder, we say, look, this is a kid, he's new, let's make him laugh. So we make the hoarder a part of the joke.
Oh, okay.
And let them be a part of the team. They haven't been a part of anything for so long. Family, friends, nothing. So we make them a part of our crew. We make them a part of the joke on the good side of it. Not the butt of the joke, but they're part of the team doing the joke.
Okay. Matt Paxton on with us, and he is the cleanup crew for Hoarders. He's got a new book coming out on May 3rd. It's Hoarders Week, and we're talking about the disease and what it's like. They're filming season 4 right now. Let's get to the rat guy. The ending of the season, last season, pretty amazing moment. The guy, took over a house. He was renting it, and then next thing you know, he's got a rat or two. He lost his wife. You can understand that he was pretty lonely, but the rats multiplied, and at that point,
they went from companions to taking over the whole place.
You guys had to go in and catch the rats. Let's give this a listen.
Wow. This is some pretty nasty stuff.
There's 100 back here in the corner.
The goal was to get all these rats out in the first couple hours, and we hadn't even gotten the rats that we could see yet, more or less get into the walls. This is going to be a lot harder than we thought.
Kind of getting pissed because now they don't know where to go. We're taking away their home pretty quickly. Coming back your way. God, I can never get these. Still ain't got one.
We're playing zone, and now we're on man-to-man. We're getting worked. That's what's happening. We hope we've gotten all the rats. But the reality is there's probably at least 2. There's probably going to be 100 left.
I mean, Matt, that's like the Alamo. I mean, how did you get through that?
Man, it freaked me out. The first whole day, I couldn't handle it. Dr. Zazio really likes animals, and she was fine with it. She caught a couple hundred rats. I think I caught 8 total. I mean, they are just, it freaked me out, but I got to tell you, they were right. They do have a personality. They're very smart. They were beating us most of the time, and we had to use food to coax them in. But eventually, it took us 3 days to get all the rats out. And then
wow.
I talked to him the other day, and he had a couple hundred more rats that showed up after we left. So they were, I mean, we tore the walls out. I cut the tubs out. I mean, I cut that house in 2. And we still didn't get all the rats.
It seemed to me almost I guess maybe this would have been the wrong approach for somebody with a disease, fumigating the house to kill the rats?
Well, I would have burned the place down if they let me, but this apparently these rats are very special. They're actually also very valuable. Had this is one cool thing about my job. You learn something new every week. And I had no idea that there's a whole world of rat collectors and rat people. And there was a rat rescue team that showed up, and we were taught the right way to remove them. I mean, we had to do it as humanely as possible. And luckily, A&E invested in the needs that we had to have, and they heavily invested in getting these rats out as humanely as possible.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Shredd and Ragan afternoons. Rock Radio 103.3 The Edge.